Okay, so in this task, we're going to look at creating a database as part of the database design module. And this is one of a few videos which is going to be uploaded over the next few days. So just to familiarize yourself with this task again, we are creating a database for a cafe. And the idea is that we are going to help track customers. Now we are going to be also making a spreadsheet later on in this project, but we're going to focus on the customer side of things and the database for this set of videos. Now you will need to download the database as we have a few records in there for you, and you can download the database off our study zone. So if you click on the database tile, you'll see the database files there. I will put a link in underneath this video as well, just in case anyone else would like to take a copy of it just to play around with as well. Okay, so once you've got the database and you've saved it in a safe location, we can start then modifying it and looking at the actual data inside. Now, when you open the database for the first time, you are going to need to click on this thing here, Enable Content, and you might need to make it a trusted document depending on the security of your computer. Now, if we just double click on the data table, which is only one table in this database, what you'll then see is essentially a number of fields that have already been put in, and you'll see there's a number of records, and just remember the records go across and the fields will go down. So we've got customer's name, we've got their address, we've got their postcode, country, and we've got a phone number as well. Now the first task that we are going to look at is actually adding to this database, and we're going to add some fields into this database as well. So to do this, what we are going to do is we are going to need to change the view of the database. Now to do this, we're going to click on the view button up here, and we're going to go into this design view. Now what you will notice is the database will change. So you're now working in the back end of this table. Now if I do the same thing again, if I click on the view and then go to data sheet view, it goes back to the original view that you once had. Now some people do get confused with this and they think it is a spreadsheet. It is not a spreadsheet, it is a database. This is designed to store a large amount of data, and we can perform queries, reports, data entry forms, and various other things on this data. Now you will need to get used to switching between these two modes, the design view and the data sheet view, because we are going to use it in the following few videos. So if I switch back to this design view, first thing that we're going to need to do is add in a few more fields into this database. Now to give you some sort of idea, we've got a few ideas here for you if you're struggling to think of different fields to add in. Now before we actually look at the fields, I need to just talk very quickly about data types. These are data types which are associated with field names. There are four main data types that I want to focus on in this video: text, number, yes, no, and currency. A text data type will allow anything: letters, numbers, special characters, anything you type in. A number data type will only allow numbers. You will not be able to type any text at all. If you do enter any text, it might throw an error, or the database just will not allow you to type in that field. The yes or no will typically show you a checkbox, which is really nice and easy to use. The currency will also accept a number, but this time it'll normally prefix it with a currency symbol, and in the UK it'll be a pound sign. If you were in America, it'll be a dollar sign, or if you're in the currency where they use the euro, it'll be a euro sign. Now here's a few different ideas of different fields that you can add in. Feel free to think of your own, and don't forget these fields need to relate to a customer. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a loyalty card field. So to do this, I'm going to type the word loyalty card, and then we're going to choose the data type. I can do this by clicking in this data type option here, selecting the drop down, and then clicking yes, no. Now before I do select yes, no, you will notice there's a lot more data types within Access than what I've just gone through. At this moment in time, we don't need to worry about any others. We're just going to look at some of the basics. So I'm going to stick with yes or no. If I go back to my suggestions, you'll see there's a few other things here as well. I'm going to put average amount spent, which is then going to be a currency item. Again, after I type the field name, I click on the drop down and then I'm going to select currency from the option. I'm going to choose 2 more. I'm going to put average number of items purchased in, and I'm going to do 1 more for marketing. Now, before we save the database, you might want to make these field names a little bit shorter. Now, you'll notice in the first one, I've abbreviated average to AVE, and I'm going to do that again with the second part here as well for consistency. If I wanted to, I could also abbreviate the word number, and I'll put average items purchased. So I'll just remove those. Now once you are done and you're happy, click on the view again and then go down to data sheet view. This is going to bring up an error, or a warning rather, which is just going to remind you to save your table. Click on yes. When you return to this table view, what you will then see are the extra fields that you've added in to the end. The yes and no fields are here, and as you can see, they are represented by checkboxes, which makes it really easy to enter the data. The average amount spent is here, and if we need to expand the header, all we do is we can move it over a little bit, just so that it's a little bit bigger. What you will now need to do is complete the rest of the database by filling in some data into these fields, and if you have yes and no fields, check in some of them so that some of them will have checkboxes marked like so, and then leave others which are blank as well. So your task is going to be to add in the extra fields and then complete the data by making it up and entering it in here.